In this lecture, I'm going to show you how you can read in a CSV file in Anaconda, and CSV is a flat file format. It stands for comma separated values, and this is one of the most common ways of reading in data in Python. Indeed, most of the external data that we read in this course will be stored in the CSV form, and this is what ordinary comma separated value files look like. So you take an Excel file, put in your data and store it as a .csv, and you get all your data. So you have different columns. Here we have two columns in rest2.csv, and then you just read this in. And I'm going to show you how you can do that. Import numpy as np and import pandas as pd. And once you do that, essentially we need these packages working in the background. So let us just look at the file. Now the file is rest2.csv, and as you can, and I think you saw the name here, and it is present over here. So you can provide the entire name of the path the way I did in the variable called file, like so. And then you can read it in to the variable called df1, which is, and using the function pd.read_csv file, and just provide this particular variable, and it will read in rest2.csv. And because we have imported pandas as pd, we specify pd.read_csv because it is pandas which has all the provisions for reading in the different kinds of data. So with pd or pandas, it has a function read_csv, and we are going to see the other functions that pandas offers us to read the other different data types, but that will be further on in this section. So with that, you can actually read it in. So let's just, now that it has been read in, now we can look at the first bits of the data using df1.head, because df1 is the variable that stores the content of the file rest2.csv. And there it has been read in. Now what you saw over here is a very standard CSV format, but what happens if your CSV is non-standard like this? Now you can see this is also a CSV file because it has the extension .csv, but all the data, you know, they are not neatly ordered in columns like so. And what you see over here, the data seem to be separated by semicolons. So if you want to read in these data, and it is always a good idea to look at your file first. So let us just try. Actually, let me just comment out this code, and let's just try running this chunk now. Now this is how the data have been read in, and it does not look very nice. So what you can do is actually pd.read_csv, because it is a .csv file, and then specify the separator, which is a semicolon. Now the difference is that when we don't specify any separators, it means the separator is a column, is a comma, which means that everything is separated by a comma. So in this case, by default, we assume that all the data is separated by commas, but in this case, when it is not separated by commas and we have a semicolon, then we have to specify what the separator is, and in this case the separator is a semicolon. So now let us try to read it in, and there, now this looks much better, because now once we provide the separator, then our data can be read in the way we read the previous CSV. We can also read in text and text files, and for that there are situations in which our data may be stored as a .txt file, which it is, and in those cases this is still a flat file format, but we have to provide the separator, which is the tab separator. So for most computers it has to be a backward slash and t, which stands for tab, and obviously you can see what the tab command is for your system, but with this you can actually read it in. And there, it actually read this in. Let us just see. There. Now these data were also read in, and even though they were as .txt, so essentially this is how we read in .txt and .csv files, and it is imperative to take care of, to know what the separators are. And in case your CSV file is an ordinary CSV file like this, then you don't have to worry about specifying any separators. And for all txt files, you should be good to specify the tab separator. And now further on, we are going to see how we can read in files which are in the Excel format.